Hey guys, Neil here with Covers Camo, your source for custom seat covers. Today we're installing the seat covers on the 2026 CFMOTO U10 Pro XL. It's an awesome looking set, mossy oak bottomland for the insert, midnight croc for the trim, loaded up with pockets for guns and gear, also some custom logos in the back. Let's check them out. All right guys, so we're getting started on this install. Again, this is the 2026 CFMOTO U-Force U10 Pro XL. So it's the front and rear seats that we're doing today. It's got these really cool, these U10 Pros have these really cool kind of already a diamond stitch in it on this, and it's just this cool kind of leather look. Love it here. So we're gonna get the backrest going right now, and then we'll do the bottom, and after that we'll keep going. Alrighty, so here is the cover. We're doing the bottomland, mossy oak bottomland for the insert, midnight croc for the trim, just a dark black croc trim, alligator print, love it. So we're gonna get this pulled on right here. Now, what you're gonna wanna do is shift this seat forward like that, and that's just gonna open up this back side for me a little bit more. And there's a little lever underneath your seat that you just pull to get that seat to go forward. Okay, and then this is just a big sleeve. This is gonna pull over the top right here. You know what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna turn this inside out a little bit. I think it's gonna help me get this cover over. Okay, so we're pulling that down like that. We'll get everything smoothed out once I have it over the top here. Now you can see this is a tight fit, and that's how you want it. You want a tight fit. You want it to be just barely pulling over. That way you get a nice finished fitment. Okay, so now that I have it to the shoulders up here, I'm gonna unroll this fabric down below, like that, and then finish pulling that down right there, okay? And now I'll start doing the technique that I'll show you throughout the video, is massaging the seat cover over these seats. That's gonna help me just continue to adjust that cover to get it to really lay flat, smooth and flat on the seats here. So I'm just adjusting that cover forward and back, massaging there, pulling that down. Okay, now there's these Velcro tabs down here, and I'm gonna connect up these Velcro tabs on the back side. So you can see there's this hook Velcro on the back right here, and that's going to connect to this loop Velcro right here. And again, you just got to give it a nice good pull like that, get that to connect on right there. There's also a Velcro tab in the middle here. So I'm gonna pull that. So this one right here. So I'm just gonna give it a nice good pull on the front. And again, I'm just gonna make sure that things are lined up here good. And then I'm gonna give it a nice pull on the front right there, and then pull it around. And take this hand right here, smooth that out, pull out the slack right here, pull that, and then hold it, and then with your other hand take that Velcro and then close that together, okay? Okay, so I have the corner done, I have the middle done, Now I'm just gonna work on this outside section right here. Same thing as that side. Sorry for the extra noise today, guys. We're at the Western Hunting Expo. This is our booth that we're in right now, setting up the booth right now, and these are the seat covers we're putting on the UTV here that's in our booth. So we're just getting these on, and there's a lot of extra stuff going on around us. People setting up their booths for the hunting expo. All right, so I got that connected together. So as you can see, it's just a sleeve. It pulls over. There's front and back Velcro. It's a tight fitment. So fold that inside out, pull that down. As you can see, you start on one side, then pull towards you, and just pull that down, snug it down like that, and then there's your Velcro connection in the back right there. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab that bottom cover. I'm just gonna tuck this extra Velcro right there. There we go. Okay, now I'm gonna grab the bottom cover. We'll show you how to do the bottom. We're doing the driver bottom now. On the back side, there's gonna be these straps. These straps are gonna go underneath the seat up to these buckles right here. Here's our MOLLE gun pocket on the front side. There's those buckles underneath it right there. Okay, so that's the back side of it with these straps. And there's gonna be a draw cord that goes around the outside as well, just to cinch everything up nice and tight. Okay, so we're gonna fit this over the seat here. Lift that seatbelt up a little bit right there. Let's get that tucked around right there. So I always recommend just fitting the cover over the seat cushion before you start to crank down on your straps. That's just gonna be super helpful. So it's not, because it's just harder to adjust the cover once you have the straps on. So now what I'm gonna do, now that I have it pretty well in place, I'm gonna do these straps. Okay, so the straps are gonna go underneath the seat, and we're gonna have to change our view here so you can see, because it's kind of a tricky spot to pass it underneath, but it's going right underneath the seat up to the buckles. Guys, here's these straps coming from the back right underneath the seat. You can see there's this slot right here. I can put my finger in there. So there's a pretty big slot. You just got to reach that strap up through there, and it's going to go right under there, and there's plenty of space for that buckle, or for that strap to sit as this seat moves forward and back, because that's just going to go up to this buckle. Now, tip about that buckle, we need to go above your grab bar. Okay, so go above that grab bar right here, and then we're going to go through that buckle and cinch that down nice and tight. Now, when you go through these buckles, you need to go through this middle slot first and then the outside slot, just like how I've done it right there. So you can see there's that middle slot, then the outside slot, then you're gonna start to tighten that down. Now, what you're gonna do is take this end of the strap, pass that back through the slot right there towards the back, and then you're gonna go on that back side and finish tightening this down. So I'm gonna take both of these slots, take out a little slack initially right here. Okay, now I'm gonna take that strap, the end of that strap again, pass that in that little crack right there. That's going to go towards the back side of the seat, because then we're going to move our hand towards the back there and then finish pulling that nice and snug tight. So now I have this strap right here. You can see there it is. There's that end of that strap again, and I'm going to pull that nice and tight. Now, before I do that though, before I really lock it down, I want to position this cover back a little bit more. I have that pulled too far forward, so I'm going to get this cover, pull that back a little bit more right there, because when I lock that down, it's going to stop moving. It's going to be harder to move. Next step is to do the 20 section backrest, which is this. It's a back 20 that folds down to cup holders right here. And so what we're going to do is get the cover. Here's the cover right here, and we're going to pull that over the armrest like this. There's going to be Velcro on the back side that's going to attach up. Okay, when I have that Velcro on the backside lined up, we can go ahead and close that up here. Right there. Okay, there's that Velcro on the backside there. Now what we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna wanna tuck this material underneath this trim right here. So you're gonna pull that and push it underneath. Now I may make a few final adjustments just to trim that out, just smooth that out a little bit better, but essentially that's how that works, is you're just tucking that underneath this trim right here and getting that material pushed in underneath. We've connected up the bottom, and now you can flip that up. You're gonna look at that. I'm just gonna pull that down just a little bit more here as well, like that. Okay, and there's that 20 section backrest, that armrest cup holder section is all done now, and we're ready to move on to the, let's do the 60 bottom now. So now we're working on the 60 bottom. This is the front 60 bottom. It's a separate seat than the driver over there, and this seat does lift up, so you can lift it up here from the back, right here, right, there's two little pins where you can lift that seat up, and then there's hooks on the front. So I could lift this seat up and out completely, but I actually am gonna leave it in because it's gonna be a little easier for me to pull the cover on when it's inside here. And there's plenty of space underneath this seat to drop the straps, because the seat cover is gonna have straps and buckles right here that are gonna go up to these buckles right here, and there's a draw cord that goes around the back side that we're going to tie up. Okay, so we're going to pop that over like this. The rear on this XL, I actually do pop the seat out because there's like a box underneath it and you can't really get to the underside, but on this front, there's plenty of space, tons of space. So, and I'll show you that, how much space there is to drop these straps through. But if you want to, it could be easier on your end if you want to take this out, just put this on a big table, and you could install this cover over. It's really simple to take this seat out. Drop those straps towards the back here. I'm gonna drop this one right in front of the seatbelt, right there. Okay, so we're gonna drop that down right there. So I'm just gonna fit this over a little bit, fold that fabric down. Okay, now that I have that in position, we're gonna go to the back side and take those straps and then go up to the buckles. So on the back side here, this is where you're gonna take the strap and you're gonna drop it right underneath the seat above this bar, right here. Like that, okay? And I'm gonna work that back a little bit more, but then this strap, there's plenty of space underneath the seat right here that I can go up to the front and go to a buckle. And that's where all the straps across this are gonna go. Now again, if you have this removed, that's fine, no problem, but this is where I'm dropping it right here, is just right above this bar, and it's gonna go through up here and then to the buckles. So here's the front side now, here's this buckle, and here's that strap that I just passed from the back. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up above this bar right here. Okay, and so up above here, and then I'm gonna go through this middle slot right here, and then the outside slot. Like that. And then I'm gonna pass this back up and over the bar. Like that. Push that buckle through right there, and now I can take that and tighten that down right there. Okay, and I'll do that with all of these straps and buckles across the board right there. Next step with this 60 bottom is to tie up this draw cord. Now what I've done is I've passed this on the front side of this bar right here, and then also there's this circular rubber where this push pin pushes in right there, and I'm going on the front of that as well. So that way that is gonna tie that draw cord down nice and tight around there. And so what I'll do is I'll tie my noose off on one side right here. And there we go, so we got that. And then we're gonna take this other side right here, go through it, and then get my desired snug tight fit on that. Pull that down. When I have that nice and tight, I'm just gonna hold it with one hand right there and then tie it off. So we're just tying a knot in that. Probably the biggest tip with that is just make sure you go in front of that rubber circular rubber piece where the push pin goes in, and then in front of your bar, okay, right there. Okay, and that should be a good spot for us to have that draw cord. Now I will pop that seat out just so you can see all the straps and buckle underneath here. I'm just gonna keep adjusting this. This needs to pull a little bit farther back and tighten those straps and buckles up a little bit more. One of my top tips for you to smooth this down is take the slack out with one hand, pushing over like that, and then reach underneath and tighten those buckles again. So I'm gonna reach back like that, push that fabric back, and that helps to really just get that fabric to lay over nicely on the seat there. Now I'll just keep adjusting that, working that over and over, massaging that, and then locking it down with those straps and buckles. All right, so as promised, we're gonna lift this seat up just so you can see that it does lift up, and then you can slide it out like this. Really easy to get that out. And So you can see the underside, what there is here. There's these little gaskets. I don't know if you call them gaskets. It's little circular rubber pieces where that's where the push pin goes inside these right here. And then there's these front hooks right here. So that hook is going to go towards the front. You clip that in and then push it down towards these push pins. And the pins right here are right here, and that's what goes into these circular rubber pieces. Okay, so now that that's out, I may just make a few more little tightening. I may just tighten that up a little bit more here. That's all looking pretty good though on the tops. Okay, so that's all looking good there. I do have this, as I was saying on the video earlier, I have this draw cord routed around the front side of this circular rubber. Okay, so I'm going around right there. That's where I routed that. That's going to be your best spot. You can take all your straps and you can cut these shorter if you'd like. Or if you want to hold on to the excess, you can just wrap them around like this, just so they're out of the way, not dropping on the floorboards there. Okay, so that's looking good there. Now that I've tightened all those up, I am going to tighten this draw cord one more time. Just get this a little bit tighter. Just pull out any other slack out of this. Okay, that's all looking really good. I'm gonna hold that slack right there. Tie this off. And we'll get this hook back in here. Okay. Well, good stuff, guys. There's that 60 bottom all installed now. I may make a few more little tweaks as I just kind of work this over a little bit more, but that is how you get that one on. So we finished that 60 bottom. Everything's looking good. I've tightened that down, just worked things down a little bit more, just massaging over that seat. Again, that's really the trick, to get things to lay on nice and tight. There's that technique where you can lift the seat out or install it in place. Either way works, but it should finish out like this, guys. Just a really nice tight fit around here. Here's that front MOLLE gun pocket for the passenger. That way your buddy or your wife, they can have their gun loaded in as well, and gear right there. So alrighty, 60 bottom is done. Now moving on. Now we're working on the front passenger backrest. This is a 40 backrest, so an individual section like this. The cover's gonna have two straps right here that go down to buckles like this. So we're gonna strap that up nice and tight. It's not a full cap like the driver is, because this one is fixed to a bar on the back side, so you need it to be open like this. So we're gonna cap it over right here. And then these straps are gonna pass down the back side. There's a nice big opening on the back right here. We're gonna drop those straps down. So again, dropping these down the back. We'll show you another angle here shortly on the back side here. So now we're dropping down these straps on the back side. You can see right here, there's a bolt here and a bolt here that fixes this backrest on right here. And that's why it needs to be an open back pattern, so you can just drop straps down so you don't have to release that seat. It does seem like it'd be pretty easy to take that seat off if you needed to. You just reach in there with a socket set and unbolt that, but we're just gonna do it with it in the vehicle here. Okay, so now I can see here's the buckle down below. Gonna go through that middle slot right here, and then the outside slot. Now before I get it super tight, I'm gonna just finish adjusting it on the front side and smooth things out before I lock it in completely. So I'm adjusting this on the front side, just moving the fabric around the bolsters of the seat here. I have that armrest folded down so I can access this side of the seat a little bit better. I just want to roll that fabric around right there, like that. Then when I have that in a little better position, I'm going to take one hand on the front side, push down so it's nice and smooth. That's going to pull out a bunch of slack. Right there, you can see there's that slack that I've taken out just by pushing my arm down on the front side right there. And then I'm going to lock that cover in. Do that same thing on this side over here. Okay, so that's looking really good on the front. We'll show you the front angle here again, and so you can see how this is turning out on the front side. You can see how nice and tight this is fitting right here on the front, and I'm just continuing to work that over and massage that cover over the seat there, and that just gets it down nice and tight like that. Now with this extra strap, this is what I would do normally is I would cut this and then take a lighter and just melt the ends of it so it doesn't fray. But for right now, and the other quick thing you could do is just loop it around itself into a little knot like that. And then you could take the excess and tuck it up either behind the bar or in the cover. But there's not a great spot to tuck this extra stuff, so I'm just gonna cut that shorter. That way I don't have as much strap hanging out the back side here. So I did cut this shorter. I cut about this much off here, and I did just tuck this into the cover itself right there. That's how I'm gonna leave it for this show. Now what you could do is you could cut it shorter too if you wanted, or tie a knot in it. Either way works really, just to kind of clean things up on the back side there. So we're on the rear row. We're doing the driver backrest. So rear row driver backrest. It's gonna work just like that front, except for it does not have that sleeve. It doesn't cap over the back side of it. It's gonna have these straps that drop down to buckles. Okay, so straps and buckles. Okay, so we're gonna take these, fit this on right here, and we're gonna need to drop down these straps to the buckles. Okay, we're just gonna fit that over like that. Start out. Now this strap right here is gonna pass down right on the back side of the seat. Okay, so if you can see that, there's this bar right here, gotta go in front of that bar right here, guys. We're gonna pass this down like that. Okay, and there's plenty of space when it drops down, so don't worry about it. We'll find it once it drops down. Okay, and then we're gonna take this one right here, drop this one down as well. Okay. Now it looks like there's enough space. There's this bar and kind of this square spot right here where I'm gonna try dropping this strap down. Should work right there. If it doesn't, I may need to just go on the side of that square piece right there. I'm dropping it down right in between that right now. That's where I'm going with it. We'll see how that works. Should have plenty of space though. Okay, so now that I've dropped those down, I'm gonna go underneath seat right here and find those straps. Okay, so here's my two straps. Okay, so they were just on the back side. I just reached up and grabbed those, and you may have to reach around a little bit more and kind of feel where they are. Okay, perfect. So just checking to make sure everything's lined up back there. And now, just like the front, I'm going through the middle slot, then the outside slot, right there, like that, okay? Cinch that up. Same thing right here. Middle slot, outside slot with the teeth. Right there. Take the slack out. Then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna get as much slack out as I can before I start reaching up on the back side right there and pulling this. Now, I can tell this is gonna be kind of a tight spot to reach my hand up, so one little trick that you can do, I've done this on some other seats, is you can go to the side right here. So I'm gonna actually pass this strap up to on the corner. So it kind of at a 45 degree angle right there. And now that's gonna allow me to tighten that strap without having to have my fist completely on the back side of the seat. Okay. Now before I lock that down completely, just like we did on the front seats, fit that around into place where you want it there, and then you can continue to tighten that up. Okay, so I got that started over there. I'm gonna work on this other side right now. I'm just gonna take that strap. Here's that strap right here. I pass that strap from the bottom up to the top. It's another trick you can do is if you can pass that up to yourself right there. Now that'll allow me to pull that up a little bit easier. If your fist fits on the back side of the seat, you can just reach underneath there and tighten it up. But if it doesn't, that's one thing you may want to do is pass that up. And what I'm doing here is I'm taking the slack out with this hand, and then I'm going to tighten right here. Okay, so that's looking good. I'm going to push this cover around a little bit more. Just get that to conform a little bit better to that seat. Work that out a little bit more over here. So I just work it back and forth, side to side, to get this all to conform nice. Now, I could have just gone straight up, and it does pull a little bit better when you tighten this if you go straight up and down with it rather than at an angle. It keeps the strap from binding on itself. Okay, so that's looking really good, guys. Let's see how that's tightening down. Nice and tight. Love it. Push that cover in a little bit more. Okay, so now we're just getting a nice tight fitment. I'll take my hands and just massage over that seat a little bit more like that, just to get that to conform down. But all in all, guys, that's about it. So I might do just a little bit more of that, just working it down, again, taking the slack out, tightening here. You can see there's those two straps. Once you have them in this position where they're going up and down, that's really the best way to pull that down and tighten it there. Okay, so now, once I have that and it's all tight, you can just hide these straps, just tuck them back down, back side of the seat, and then you're good to go. That backrest is all done. All right, now we are working on the rear driver bottom. And here's the straps. There's gonna be two straps to buckles. Okay, here's those two buckles up on the front. Okay, that's gonna pass underneath the seat to the back, and then here's the draw cord around the outside. Okay, so that draw cord's gonna tie together here. So now what we're gonna do is fit this over like this. I always like to fit it into place first before I do much tightening. Okay, so I got that decently in place where I'm gonna want it, and then now what we're gonna do is take these straps. These straps need to go underneath the seat and go up to the front. Okay, and you know what? I'm gonna show you here, guys. This is how you just make your life a lot easier. This seat just pops off super easy. Okay, there's some front push pins right here, and then a little back clip right here. So if you saw how I did that, that just clips in the back and then push pins up on the front. So just lift up on it right here, and then it unhooks like that. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is take these straps here, and we're gonna go up to these buckles through the middle slot first, then the outside slot right here. Okay, like that. Same thing with this one. Now that I have those started, the other thing I'm gonna do is get this draw cord ready. And what I'll do is tie that noose in one side here. Just tying around itself. Just double it up and tie it around itself right here. There's the noose. Here we go, around the back side. Take this other side, we can get it to our desired tightness. Now, you can see I don't have this cover pulled back all the way yet, guys, so I don't want to completely tighten this on yet until I do, because I need to shift it farther back. I have it too far forward right now. So what I'm going to do is, before I finish tightening that up, I'm going to loosen this up a little bit because I'm too far forward, guys. We're going to take this now. You can see really where I should put this is going to be closer to the actual upholstery, not pulling so far over this box. Okay, so we're going to go, there's the upholstery edge right there. I'm just going to go barely over capping that edge. Okay, so if I go right there, now I'm going to grab the back side of this material and pull that around. Now we're going to be able to cap the back side. Before, I was just way too far forward, guys. So we shifted that back now. Okay, so right there, that's where we're gonna have it. And I'm just gonna barely cap over that upholstery edge. Now you can see here, I have a lot more coverage on the back. I'm gonna pull that and lock that into place a little bit better. That shifted over a little bit more. We'll just have to see if we're still good on the back. So we're going to smooth this out. Now, keep working that over. Pull it side to side. I am going to tighten this up now because I think I have this draw cord in the right spot. Now I am going to want to keep my knot. I'm going to keep my knot a little farther away away from these hooks. I'm going to try to put that towards the middle, right there. Okay. So just tying that off now. I'm going to hook this in, or try hooking it in here, to help me massage this down. Just get that into place for a second. So I'm just working that material over here, guys, to smooth that out, because I just want a nice smooth finish over the top there. So I'm just massaging my hands over and pulling that down. And since I have my straps and buckles pretty tight, it's all kind of holding down as I do that now. Okay, you can see there, now look at that, guys. That's a lot more smooth and tight and just looking really good there. Okay. So now that we've added some tension underneath here, we're gonna see if we can lock this down okay. It may take a little bit more pressure to lock it in. Just make sure I'm locked in on the hooks back there. Yep, both hooks are in place. And I'm just going to make sure that my pins are in the right spot as well here. So there should be my 2 push pins right here, here and here. I'm just gonna make sure that that's all lined up. Good, and there is a chance I may need to go around this push pin right here, so that's not getting in the way. May have to loosen that up just a little bit in case if that's gonna be pushing against that bar a little bit right there. Okay, I can feel that one locking in, but I think this buckle is sitting right on a spot. Oh, there it is. Okay, so now I got those both locked in. I did have to adjust that buckle a little bit to be able to get that to lock in. So that's something we may talk to the production team about a little bit and see if we can adjust that a little bit more. Just to make sure that locks in nice and smooth. But all in all, that's looking good. I may just make a few last minute adjustments on this, but nice smooth cover, good fitment, and that bottom is all on. Here's that MOLLE gun pocket on the front for extra storage. Love that. Dressed out in that midnight croc fabric, really cool. So that's all done now. I'm gonna show you the headrest cover to finish this out. So here's the headrest cover. This particular headrest is in the midnight croc fabric, and it has our very common Velcro patch, custom logo Velcro patch. So you could do your own custom logo on a printed patch, then stick that on there. Right now we have the Covers Camo patch, just so you can see that. But we're gonna pop that over like this. This is how it installs. And you cap the top, not too far, because you want this front seam line right here, you want that to line up with that front edge, right where you're facing, okay? And you just cap that, caps over the sides, caps over the back, guys. Really simple install. Just a full cap right there. So we're gonna cap that over right there. Boom, like that. And then I'll take these sides and just wrap that around there, like that, and just tuck that in right there, just make any little final adjustments. But there's the headrest cover. So cool to have a matching headrest cover with the rest of the seats. Just dresses it all up. Again, you can put your own custom logo on a patch, have that on there. So cool spot to stick your own patches. Now we're working on the rear 20 section backrest, and the cover just looks like this. It's a big cap right here, and there's going to be a sew line on the back side right here. That's where we're going to put the back. Okay, so here's the front here, and we're going to just barely cap over the top right there. And you know what? Probably should have started with the back first and then pulled towards the front. Now this may make it a little bit easier if I pull this, and there's these 2 little pins at the top right there. You can pull this out, and the bottom has a hinge on it, so I'm not going to pull that off, but I'll pull this down just because it's not going to push against the other seat as I try to do this install. Okay, so I just barely have that cap towards the back right there. Pull that up right there. now I'm just working that around. Just cap that on a little bit more. Okay, and there's the front looking good. I'm just gonna work that corner around just a little bit more.
I just didn't see his tag anywhere, and I didn't want to interfere with anybody else's stuff. There was this one, 1157. Mountain Adventures. So I'm guessing that's that, and that's this here. Okay. Appreciate it.
Okay, so that's looking good now there, guys. What I'm gonna do is just finish by pushing this in up here, back into those pins back in, and then just finish working that over a little bit more. And that's really not going to come down a lot. You may access your, it looks like a battery back there actually. You may access every now and then. So I'm just going to roll that around those corners a little bit more. But all in that looks good. All right, now we're doing the rear 60 bottom sections, and that's a new section that, because the rear 40 backrest is going to be the same, so we're not going to need to film that. That's the same as the other side. But the 60 bottom's a little different, and just so you can see, you can lift this from the back. You pull this up. There's these little pins that it pushes into right here, and then there's these hooks on the front right here that lift out. Okay, so there's those little hooks right there that you can lift this whole seat out. And you know what? We're gonna install it out. It's gonna make it a little bit easier to do it. In some ways, it can be nice to install the seat covers when they're installed in the vehicle, but we'll try this one out. So there's gonna be straps and buckles. They're gonna go on the underside here. You get all those straps, and then there's gonna be the draw cord again here. Now, if I had a table, what I would do, guys, is I would set this on a table just so it's flat and easier to manage than what I'm trying to do here in the UTV. But see if I can show you how to do this inside of here. Going through that middle slot, then the outside slot. Again, just like always, guys. So I can tell I barely have enough fabric back here. So I need to loosen this up just a little bit more and shift this towards the back. Okay. There we go. See that you really just want that where it's really lining up or just barely capping the OEM material. What I'm going to do is do this draw cord now around the outside, right here. Got that noose tied off. Now we're going to go around here to get the desired tension, like that. Now as I pull this, I want this draw cord to come just barely over the edge. So I'm not quite over. I need to work that fabric over just a little bit more. I got it right here, but I need to pull this down a little bit more. Right there, like that. Same with this far edge over here. Okay, so now that I have that pulled up a little bit more, I take this, tighten that up. Okay, so we're gonna flip this back around now. Make our final adjustments. Just working that material over the seat there, like that. That's looking good, guys. So that's starting to come together right now. Okay, what I'm gonna do now is hook that again on the front side. I'm gonna have to make sure those hooks are accessible. Okay, so I'm gonna have to slide that strap over to the side a little bit right there. Okay, line that up. Okay, there's that pin right there. Let's see, this hook popped out as I was coming down right there. I'm gonna have to get that hook back in. I'm gonna take these straps and just tuck them under themselves right now, just to get them out of the way for a second. You can always cut these straps shorter, the excess. I'd always have more, and I like having more and cutting it. Okay, I got those lined up again right there. I don't know if I had them lined up too great the first time. Now this string, what I'm gonna, or this draw cord right here, I'm just gonna pop that underneath. I think it was catching a little bit as I was first going down. I'm gonna pop that underneath, right under there. It's gonna be a better spot for that. Okay. So now, perfect. Now both of those are clipped in. So the seat's locked back in place. And when it's locked back in place, I'm just gonna finish by massaging over that cover. Just working that out a little bit more. And then you get a nice tight finish like that, guys. So there we go. And feel free to pop it up and readjust if you need to. I'm just working my hands over that just to get that to really conform to that seat. All in all, that looks great. My back corners are all capped over good. Front's all looking good. Top's nice and smooth. Good to go on that 60 bottom. So that's how you get that done. Thanks for watching this video. Again, this has been Neil here with Covers and Camo, your source for custom seat covers. We offer seat covers for trucks, Jeeps, cars, SUVs, and UTVs, just like this. So if you have the CFMOTO or maybe a different UTV, very good chance that we can get it done. So go over to coversandcamo.com. We look forward to servicing you soon.